AI, it feels like it's everywhere you look these days. There's always another article about how it's going to revolutionize everything. But today we're going to look at something pretty cool with AI software development.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard about these platforms that say they can turn ideas into apps like that super fast?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? It sounds like science fiction.
But trust me,
Yeah.
the tech behind it is seriously impressive.
Yeah, this field is evolving so quickly. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's gone from AI helping out with little coding tasks to AI handling like the whole development process.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating.
Yeah. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. We are diving deep into two platforms that are making some serious waves, Cheapik Engineer and Lovable.
Okay.
We're going to figure out how they work, what they can do, and what this means for the future of software development.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's worth remembering that these are just two examples. There's a ton of stuff out there, but this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
But just looking at these two can give us a glimpse into what might be possible with AI-powered software development.
So first up, let's meet our AI engineers, shall we?
Okay.
So GP Engineer is an open source platform. You can find it on GitHub.
Right.
And it's all about creating code from, really simple prompts.
Plain English.
Plain English, yeah.
It's basically like you're just talking to the platform.
Yeah.
You tell it what you want the software to do, and it just does it.
I know. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets even cooler. GP Engineer is terminal-based.
Okay.
So, it's got that kind of like hacker vibe.
Right.
I was reading the GitHub page, and it says that you can literally sit back and watch as an AI writes and executes the code.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean, while that might appeal to some developers, that terminal-based approach,
Yeah.
some people might find that a little intimidating, especially people who are more comfortable with visual interfaces.
Yeah, you're right. That's a really good point. And that's where Lovable comes in.
Okay.
So Lovable is a totally different approach. It focuses on being really user-friendly.
To build full-stack applications.
Wow.
And they're not shy about it. They have this big, bold claim on their website, idea to app in seconds.
Wow.
And they're not kidding. Over 140,000 people are using it,
Okay.
including some really hot startups. One user even said it was faster than anything I've seen before.
So we've got the open source kind of hacker-style GPT engineer on one hand, and then this sleek, user-friendly Lovable on the other. Both of them are trying to change how we build software and make it faster and more accessible.
Yeah.
But they're coming at it from such different angles, it makes you wonder if they're even going for the same audience.
Exactly. It's like comparing a high-performance sports car to a luxury SUV.
Right.
They're both amazing vehicles, but they serve different purposes.
Yeah.
They appeal to different drivers.
Right.
So let's dive a little bit deeper into what these platforms can actually do. Let's start with GPT Engineer. You mentioned it takes those, natural language prompts and generates code.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how that actually works?
Oh, sure. Basically, you just type in what you want the software to do.
Okay.
It's like if you were explaining it to a human developer.
Right.
But GPT Engineer actually takes it a step further. It can improve existing code based on new prompts that you give it.
Wow.
So it's like having an AI coding buddy who's constantly refining your work.
That's pretty neat.
It even has this cool feature called pre-prompts,
Okay.
where you can actually customize the AI's personality.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like you're telling it to code in a specific style or prioritize certain functionality.
It's like you're giving the AI guidelines, like a creative brief.
Exactly.
Okay, AI, I need you to code this, like you're building a super secure banking app, or I need this coded in a way that, like, my grandma could understand it.
Exactly. You can really fine-tune the output based on your specific needs.
Wow.
And get this GPT-10 engineer can even accept image inputs.
Oh, wow.
So think about, like, you could sketch a rough UI design and then have the AI translate that into code.
That's amazing.
It opens up some really interesting possibilities.
That's like taking that idea to app in seconds to like a whole other level.
Yeah.
And speaking of idea to app in seconds, what about Lovable? How does its approach to functionality differ?
Okay.
You mentioned it was full stack.
Yeah.
Can you kind of break that down a bit more for our listeners?
Sure. Full stack basically means that it handles both the front end and the back end.
Okay.
So front end is what the user sees and interacts with.
Right.
And back end is all the behind the scenes stuff that makes the application work.
Okay.
Think databases, APIs, and all that complex logic that powers the front end experience.
Right.
And Lovable really focuses on making this whole process intuitive.
So somebody with no coding experience could theoretically use Lovable to build a fully functional app.
That's the idea.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. Lovable has features like live rendering, instant undo branching for collaboration.
Okay.
It even has AI-powered bug fixing, so you can see your changes in real time. You can easily undo mistakes, and you can even work on different parts of the app at the same time with other people.
Oh, wow.
And if you run into a bug, the AI can often help you identify and fix it.
So it really streamlines that entire development process.
Yeah, and they even have a select and edit feature.
What's that?
Where you can just click on an element and just describe how you want to change it.
Wow.
You don't even have to write code.
Wow. So what about, like, integration with existing tools and workflows? Can developers use this alongside their current processes?
Absolutely. Lovable integrates with GitHub, which makes it really easy to manage code and to hand it off to developers if needed.
Okay.
So even for like seasoned developers, Lovable can be a great tool for quickly prototyping ideas or creating basic UI elements.
So it sounds like GP Engineer might appeal more to those who are comfortable with code or who want that deeper level of customization.
Yeah.
Whereas Lovable is more focused on providing a user-friendly experience.
Right.
For a wider audience, regardless of their technical skills.
Exactly.
It's really fascinating to see these two different approaches kind of emerging.
Yeah, it really highlights how AI is opening up software development to a whole new audience.
Yeah.
But before we get too far into that, I'm curious, who do you think these tools are really for?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah, who benefits the most from these advancements?
Yeah, on the surface, it seems incredibly useful for just about anybody.
Right.
Who has an idea for an app, but let's break it down a little bit.
Okay. Let's imagine like a typical product team.
Right.
You've got your designers, your developers, product managers, all these different roles all trying to work together. Lovable could be like a game changer for these teams.
How so?
Well, imagine non-technical team members like product managers or even marketers actually being able to contribute to the development process.
So instead of just describing an idea, or, sketching it out, they could actually build like a working prototype in Lovable.
Exactly. They could test their ideas, get feedback, and iterate much faster.
Yeah.
And that could lead to better alignment between design and development and just a more efficient product development process overall.
Makes sense.
It could really break down those silos that often exist between, the different roles on a product team.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What about startups?
Yeah.
We know that speed and agility are super important in that world.
Oh, absolutely.
Could these tools give them a competitive edge?
Absolutely. Think about like a solopreneur who has a brilliant idea, but they don't have the resources to hire a full development team.
Right.
Tools like Lovable could be incredibly empowering.
Yeah.
They could go from idea to like a basic functional product in a matter of days, maybe even hours.
Wow.
That kind of rapid prototyping and validation could be a game changer.
Yeah.
Especially in those early stages when you're trying to, get funding or get some early user feedback.
So it's almost like giving people with really limited resources the ability to compete with, the big guys.
Exactly.
That's really powerful.
Yeah.
What about more experienced developers? Would these tools still be useful to them, or would they be more likely to just stick with, the traditional coding methods?
That's a great question, and I'm sure a lot of developers are asking themselves that right now.
Yeah.
I think, while some might be hesitant to embrace these new tools, I think there are a lot of ways that even seasoned developers could benefit.
Like what?
Well, for one, these tools could free up developers' time to focus on more complex and challenging tasks.
Well,
think about it. If Lovable can handle creating like the basic front-end structure of an application, that's less time the developer has to spend on those more repetitive tasks.
so it's not about replacing developers.
Right.
It's about making them more efficient.
Exactly. It's about augmenting their capabilities, not replacing them.
Right.
AI could become like a powerful assistant,
Okay.
taking care of the tedious, time-consuming tasks so that the developers can focus on the creative, strategic, problem-solving aspects of their work.
So we've talked about product teams, startups, and even seasoned developers.
Yeah.
What about designers? How do these platforms fit into their workflow?
For designers, these tools could be a way to bring their ideas to life in a more interactive and realistic way.
Okay.
So instead of creating like static mock-ups in traditional design tools,
Right.
they could use something like Lovable to build interactive prototypes that more accurately reflect the final product.
Yeah.
And this could streamline the design process, make testing and feedback more effective, and improve communication with developers.
It's almost like blurring the lines between design and development.
It is. And that's a trend that we're seeing across a lot of industries, this convergence of different disciplines. AI is making it possible for people with diverse skill sets to collaborate more effectively and contribute to projects in new and exciting ways.
That's a really interesting point. So we're potentially seeing a shift from specialized roles to more collaborative cross-functional teams.
I think that's a likely outcome. As AI takes over some of the more routine tasks, we might see a rise in demand for individuals who can bridge the gap between different disciplines.
Right.
People who can understand both the creative and the technical sides of a project.
So what does this mean for someone who's, currently working as a software developer or somebody who's considering a career in this field? What skills will be most valuable in this new AI-powered landscape?
That's a question I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about right now. While, technical skills will always be important, I think we'll see a growing emphasis on those uniquely human skills that AI can't replicate.
Like what?
Things like creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, and even emotional intelligence.
Yeah, I can see how the skills would be more important than ever.
Yeah.
If AI can handle the more routine coding tasks, what will set human developers apart is their ability to, think outside the box, come up with innovative solutions, and understand, the human needs that AI might overlook.
Precisely. It's not about competing with AI. It's about complementing it. It's about finding that sweet spot where human ingenuity and AI capabilities can come together to create something truly remarkable.
So it's not about fearing AI. It's about embracing it as a powerful tool that can enhance our capabilities and open up all these new possibilities.
Yeah.
But of course, with any new technology, there are new challenges, potential downsides. What are some of the things we should be thinking about as AI becomes more integrated into software development?
One concern that comes up a lot is job displacement.
Right.
Will AI eventually replace human developers altogether?
Yeah.
It's a valid concern, but I think it's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
While some tasks may be automated, I believe AI is more likely to augment human capabilities, create new opportunities, and potentially even new job roles that we haven't even imagined yet.
It's like with any technological advancement, there's always some disruption.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it leads to progress and new possibilities.
Exactly. Another consideration is the potential for bias in AI algorithms.
Okay.
If the data that's used to train these AI models is biased, that bias could be reflected in the code that it generates.
Right.
And that could have, unintended consequences.
That's a really important point. It kind of highlights the need for ethical considerations and responsible development of these technologies.
Absolutely.
We need to be aware of the potential pitfalls and work to mitigate them.
Yeah, and I think that's where the human element becomes even more important. Right. We need to be actively involved in shaping the future of AI, ensuring that it's used ethically and responsibly and that it ultimately benefits humanity as a whole.
It sounds like the future of software development is going to be this fascinating mix of human ingenuity and AI capabilities.
Yeah.
What are some of the trends you're seeing emerge, and what are you most excited about when you think about the future of this field?
I think one of the most exciting trends is this democratization of software development.
Okay.
With tools like Lovable making it so much easier for anybody to build applications. We could see a huge surge of new software creators, and they'd be coming from all walks of life. I mean, that means more innovation, more diverse perspectives, and potentially, solutions to problems we haven't even thought of yet.
It's a really compelling point. Imagine a world where anybody, regardless of their background, can bring their ideas to life.
Yeah.
What kind of impact could that have on different industries and on society as a whole?
The possibilities are kind of endless.
Yeah.
We could see entrepreneurs in developing countries building apps to solve local challenges, or artists creating interactive experiences that kind of blur the lines between technology and art.
Yeah.
Or even kids developing games that teach, important life skills. It's really about empowering people to become creators, not just consumers of technology.
It's almost like taking the power that was once concentrated in the hands of a few and distributing it to the masses.
Right.
It's a bit like, the early days of the internet, when suddenly anyone could create a website and share their thoughts with the world.
Yeah.
We saw this explosion of creativity and innovation. I wonder if we're about to see something similar happen with software development.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And with AI, playing an increasingly important role, we could see even more rapid advancements
Right.
and innovations. Imagine AI-powered tools that not only help us build software, but they also help us understand user behavior, optimize performance, and even predict future trends.
Wow.
It's like having a co-pilot that's constantly learning and evolving alongside you.
So it's not just about building software faster or more efficiently.
Right.
It's about building smarter software
Exactly.
that can adapt and evolve over time.
Yeah.
What implications does that have for the types of applications we'll see in the future?
I think we'll see a shift from static one-size-fits-all applications
Sure.
to more personalized and dynamic experiences.
Okay.
Imagine software that learns your preferences, anticipates your needs, adapts to your context. We might even see applications that can switch between different devices seamlessly.
Wow.
Or even merge the physical and digital worlds
Wow.
in new and exciting ways.
So instead of just using apps, we might start interacting with them in a more intuitive and natural way.
Right.
It's like those sci-fi movies where people are controlling their environments with like gestures or voice commands. That technology might not be as far off as we think.
I think you're right. We're already seeing the beginnings of this with voice assistants and smart home devices. And as AI becomes more sophisticated, I think we can expect those interactions to become even more seamless and intuitive.
It's both really exciting and a little bit daunting to think about all the possibilities.
Yeah.
But as we've discussed with any new technology comes new responsibilities. How do we ensure that AI is used ethically and responsibly in software development?
That's a really crucial question. We need to be mindful of potential biases in AI algorithms.
Okay.
Make sure that the data used to train those models is representative and inclusive. We also need to think about the potential impact of AI on employment and the economy.
Right.
And work to create opportunities for everyone to benefit from these advancements.
Yeah.
And of course, we need to have these open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of AI.
Right.
Making sure that it aligns with our values and serves humanity in a positive way.
So it's not just about the technology itself,
Right.
but about the people who are developing it and the ways in which it's being used.
Exactly.
It's about fostering a culture of responsible innovation where ethics and human values are at the forefront of every decision.
Absolutely. We need to approach AI with a sense of humility.
Yeah.
Recognizing that it's this powerful tool
Right.
that can be used for good or bad.
Yeah.
It's up to us to make sure that it's used to create a better world for everyone.
Well said. As we wrap up our deep dive, I'm left feeling both inspired and a little bit overwhelmed by the sheer scale of what's happening in the world of software development.
It's a lot to take in.
It's clear that AI is playing an increasingly important role, and the implications are far-reaching.
Yeah, it's a really transformative time, and it's just the beginning.
Right.
The next few years are going to be so exciting. I can't wait to see what happens.
To our listener, we encourage you to stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged. This is a conversation that affects us all. We need diverse voices and perspectives to shape the future of AI in a way that benefits humanity. So what are your thoughts? How do you see AI impacting the world of software development? And what role do you want to play in shaping this future?